Welcome back to Legitimate Targets, everybody. I've got a very, very special guest for all of you today. I think it's very important, and also I think we could all learn a lot because most of our audience here is from the global north. And I think hearing from someone who has a very and well-informed perspective on what is going on with global resistance in the global south, and has really dived into how we can better understand this and hopefully learn from it to free ourselves and achieve sovereignty in our own countries, is something that we should all do right now. So joining me today is Andreas Landek. He is a prominent filmmaker who's won many awards for his films. His most recent documentary, A Father, a Son, and Sankara, we're going to talk about it to start off here, but it just won the award at the third edition of the Sub International Film Festival in Tehran for Best Documentary Film. It's an intergenerational manifesto exploring anti-capitalism and the essence of humanity. So without further ado, Mr. Landek, how you doing today? And welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for the invitation and to talk about the film. Appreciate it.
So to start off with, we briefly discussed before we hit record here, but what initially inspired you to embark on this film? As I understand, it was a very long process, and it was inspired by someone close to you in your life.
Yes, I met Buzit Kuza, who is one of the protagonists. He's an ancient freedom fighter in the war of Algeria against the French colonization. And he became a journalist and chief editor of a magazine called Afrique Asie. And he started to tell me that he met Che Guevara, Yasser Arafat, Thomas Sankara, and a lot of freedom fighters from the global south. And the first impulse I had was just to keep trace of what he was talking about, and I started to film him and the stories he was talking about. And actually, finally, I filmed the whole thing over 10 years. And then at the end, I started really to think about what is actually the film. There was no screenplay at the beginning, just the feeling that I need to record.
And you traveled to a number of countries during this filmmaking process. How did you decide which countries you were going to be traveling to, which people you were going to be speaking with?
I started to film in Berlin because we both lived there at that time, and his youngest son went to the same school or to the same class with my youngest son, knowing that Buzit is 25 years older than I am, and or even more. And then I moved to France, and finally he joined me, and we shared a common household for 10 years, and he saw my children growing up, and that was also the point when the film completely got into something different. When I asked my children, "Who is Buzit for you?" and they said, "Oh, it's like our grandfather," because they saw him every day and they were growing up with him actually. And then the next country was like to go to his mother country, to Algeria, to see where he was growing up and all his family. And there was the time when there was this huge manifestation going around every Friday, like the Hirak, where people claimed to a regime change because the president at that time, he was completely ill and he couldn't run for presidency anymore, but still he did. So people got very angry and they tried to put on another president or to have free elections. So we went there and we filmed also this huge manifestation, and I was there with a big camera, and everybody was filming with the iPhones or small cameras. And of course, after the 50 minutes of shooting, the police came and said, "Do you have any authorization to film there?" And no, I don't have. So please come with us. And I got arrested for 1 day, and but everything went finally was okay. They asked me for my passport, and I took out. I'm German, so I gave them a German passport, and they were looking at me. "Oh, you are not French?" And I said, "No, I'm German." And the answer was, "Better for you."
And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but you also went on to film in Niger.
I was in Nigeria, yes, but I was not filming there. I did just some photo reportage. I was invited by a Huda guy who is from the Wadabi tribe,
Uh-huh.
and then there are nomads in the northern part of Niger, and I was spending there 1 month with them and on my own dromedare running around in the Sahel zone. Was quite special experience, which I won't miss it.
When you first met Bouzid, were you interested in any sort of leftist, you know, anti-capitalist revolutionary politics or history, or did you just hear these names that he was saying? You're like, I recognize it. What is this story that's going on with this man?
No, I was always interested in those kind of stories, and I'm seeking like for social justice, and I think it's a common fight actually from
Mhm.
people from the global south or for the northern or western hemisphere. I think we have the same. We share a common interest about those things.
How has your film been received by people in your home country or in France as well? Because I do think there's a lot of, I'm from America. There's a lot of interest with these sort of revolutionary figures across the world. But then you look in our own home countries, and there's anything but a revolution. It's a very placated, very submissive population that we have in Western countries. And oftentimes people are falling for the propaganda in our home countries. They support revolutions elsewhere, but within our own countries, there's not much change. So, how did people in France and Germany and Western countries respond to your film?
I had just some few projections, like screenings in France.
Mm-hmm.
For now, there's no screening in Germany, but hopefully it will come. People, they got completely into the film actually. Like it's the first time when the light goes on after the film, I saw people crying, and that was like an overwhelming experience for myself. It's the first time that I touched people like that, and I'm very happy about the reactions of the people. And there was a lot of discussions, and like every time, like the owner of the cinema had to throw us out because there were other films after, but could talk for hours and hours. And the thing is also that I try not to speak out what people from global south could say about imperialism or colonialism, because I am from a Western country. I am a white male European. So if I will start to say out what people from the global south could say, I would just repeat like neocalism thoughts. So I had to find another position for myself to talk about those subjects.
Yeah, I guess that makes a lot of sense. It's the movie speaks for itself. I'm just curious, how did you, uh, I guess, arrive at the position where you said after 10 years of filming, now's the time to finalize it? What was the final moment for you, and what made this time so special to release it and to finish it?
Actually, it has to do something with Buzit because he's getting really old now, and I mean, as an elderly person, you need more care and attention, and I just had finished to grow up my own children, and I found some free time again. And I said to Buzit, okay, for me, it's not the moment to just to dive in again to take care of someone. I want to do some films now, and I want to travel and to work on my own career,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And so we decided both that it's maybe now the time that he returns back into his own country and towards his own family, who has much more possibilities to take care of him. And so I knew one point that he's going to leave, and that's when I started to think, what can I do with all these hours of rushes? How can I do a film with that? And so I worked with some people. I asked them, what can I do? And the question was, what is the heart of your film? If you have to choose one picture of your film, what would it be? And there's a scene when we are making couscous together, and you see
Mm-hmm.
our hands going into the hot couscous, and we are burning each other. And I said, this is maybe the heart of the film. So it was clear actually that there is something about our relationship. It's not only about the freedom fights of Buzid. And this relationship was also the door opener for me to go into the film and to have my own position inside, which is not a freedom fighter from a global South country.
Was it difficult at all for you to understand what they were going through as someone from the global North?
No, I think you can easily understand it, and you can easily support their fights. And I have also Thomas Sankara in this film, and he speaks it out. He said, it's not like a fight about the global South against the North. It's a common fight. And he says those who are stealing things out of colonized countries are the same who steals things from the north, from the countries of the north. So he called up for a common fight, and you have this scene in the film, and this is where I understood what I have to do in
How
terms
did
of
your
filmmaking.
relationship with Buzid change over the course of filming? I'm sure when you visited, his home country, you grasp a much better understanding of everything that he had to say and why he was able to know these people, sympathize with these people, participate in the global resistance when you saw it all with your own eyes and met these people.
Mm, I mean, like as a documentary filmer, you have this. You listen to people. You want to understand. You want to learn. It's completely wrong to do for me. It's wrong to do a documentary film by just searching for some confirmations about your own ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also like the process of doing a documentary film, like the Miesel brothers. They said once, if you write down a screenplay for a documentary and at the end your documentary looks like your screenplay, it means that you haven't listened to all of the people you filmed. And I think that's a good point. Like you go there and just be open-minded and open heart to everybody and trying to understand what is happening.
A big part of the theme of the film, obviously, it's in the title, is the relationship of father and son. How did this manifest specifically in the documentary?
But this was one of the questions I got confronted like at the beginning of the whole process of writing the screenplay. What they said, Buzit, he has the age of your own father.
Mm-hmm.
What is your relationship to your own father? And there I understood that actually Buzit is some kind of Assad's father I've chosen to My own father was not really in my life for a long time. And what is really strange, and this is like the magic of creation, that since I did this film without telling anybody in my family that I'm working on this film, the relationship to my biological father completely changed, and we're really getting closer today
Wow.
again. This is like
And,
you have to have like these invisible links, like, but when you trigger them, it means that you are really on the right side of your film. That is a confirmation that you are not wrong.
and did it impact your relationship with your own children? How did they view this process in the film, and were they inspired by it?
Oh, completely. Yes. One of them, he started to study Arabic and Turkish language,
Oh.
and he was also in Algeria like a month before, and visiting Buzit and taking care of him. We started to create it's a new family member for everybody of us, and that's really nice to see. Like you can create family without being blood related. There are deeper things going on. You can really construct them, and this is nice.
Like the global resistance, right?
Like the global resistance, yes.
I mean, before we started recording, you said that you'd never been to Iran,
Mm.
and you go there, and your film wins the highest of awards, and at the Seoul International Film Festival. Um, and obviously, Iran is a key pillar in the global resistance. So it transcends borders. This fight.
Iran is a very special country. I mean, since the revolution, it was in 79, if I remember well, um, they are exposed to I mean, the Western politics or the Western power system never accepted that there is a country right in the middle of all these gas and oil countries and controlling even access through the water there, and they try to get rid of them since the beginning. And this country is fighting every day, like so hard. And actually, I was asking myself, like, what would Iran look like without those power struggles from coming from the West? I think, personally, I think it would be a much more open country than it seems to be now. And even, I mean, now I was really like surprised when you walk in Tehran, you find synagogues that are open, like there's churches that are open,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't find this is in any other state around the Gulf there, you know. The other religions except of Islam are completely forbidden there. In Iran, no, everybody can live his own religion without any problems. So there is some open mind, and also the women in the street. I mean, some of them wear scarves. I mean, a lot of them wear scarves because they believe in their religion, and it's fine, it's okay. And others, they don't wear scarves at all, and I didn't saw any problem with that. And I even went out by night, and you know, I was asking myself, do I live in this bubble of this festival, and they only want to show me what they like to show me? But when I was walking completely on my own and during daytime or in the middle of the night, it was a awesome town, and I never had the feeling to be threatened by anything, and like everybody was open-minded, and people wanted really to talk also all the time with me. What do you think about Iran? Why Iran is has this bad publicity everywhere? And they're really interested in a lot of exchange, and also like on a economic uh, way you can. I mean, there's a lot of things is going really wrong because there are these restrictions on this country. And I think like when you see all these old French cars, I was thinking Renault could do a lot of business there
Oh
and
yeah.
and other countries too. And I mean, we are running out of money here in Europe due to other sanctions, and oh, we could work together and build a common future.
I hope so one day. It's you know, there it's really crazy what is going on, and I'm sure when you were filming and you were traveling and you were meeting all these people and you were hearing all these stories, you got to see the personal side of these people and partisans and revolutionaries. What sort of interpersonal dynamics did you notice amongst people in Iran that you also saw and encountered when you were documenting these revolutionary struggles of different people on different continents, but in the same global resistance struggle?
Hmm. I mean, I went to the place where Imam Khomeini lived with his wife, and actually the apartment is 30 meters square big, even
Wow.
smaller. There is just a bedroom, a very, very small a kitchen, and a everyday room with just one small table, and that's all. And then I went to the palace of the Shah, and he has two of them, like the winter and the summer palace.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this big Rolls Royce just going from one palace to the other, and there was so much luxury. And then you understand that this revolution is less maybe about a religious revolution, even if they used the Shiite religion, but it's more about social justice. And like people were starving hunger there. And there's this story going around that when Shevardnadze, the former how you say foreigner ministry of the USSR, was visiting Iran to organize a first meeting between Gorbachev and Khomeini. He was getting really scared when he was waiting in this small room because he couldn't believe that a president of a country could live in such poor circumstances. And this was like a quite obvious situation for me to see this and to understand why this revolution happened at that time.
It's very interesting you bring that up because I'm reminded of stories like Stalin, for example. The story is he died with nothing but his boots in a small cot bed. And I visited his dacha in where was it? It was in, I'm forgetting the name of it. I'm having a brain fart. But the bed he slept on was very tiny. It was like very modest lifestyle, and that's a definite similarity you see in these struggles is the modesty and the how grounded these men were and these people are. Um, as someone from the global north, what are the biggest things that you think we could, I guess, learn moving forward as we try to solve these problems in our own countries? You mentioned the quote from Sankara where he was talking about how the same people screwing over the global south are the same people, screwing over the people in our country. So what are the biggest things on a, I guess, a personal level that we could understand from these successful struggles for liberation?
I mean, what they have all in common for me, there is this spiritual strength, like the people, they believe really in what they are doing. And I mean, when I look here in France or in Germany or other European countries, it's really poor at the moment. Like there is no spiritual strength anymore here. And I mean, the festival in Iran, for example, one of the founders, who was a journalist, just got killed 2 weeks before the festival in Gaza. He got killed
Wow.
from the Israel army, and you could, like, as a Western man, like, I, for me it was really sad to hear about this story, and but the people there, they were proud of it. Like, it's a martyr for them, and it's like another point to go on to defend the people of Gaza at the moment. And I was thinking, if the Western countries, they want to go into war with those countries, we have no chance, because they are so strong in their head. They believe in something, and here it's just everything about consummation and money.
Mhm.
It's not really strong.
Uh, I couldn't agree with you more. That's I've traveled to a few countries in the global south and seen the people there, and it's they celebrate it. They almost welcome it. They want it to happen because it's the highest honor for them to die in this struggle and to give their life to the struggle. So, Andreas, I think that's a beautiful note to wrap up on. Where can people find your film online if they'd like to watch it? And where can they watch your other films and stay up to date with your work moving forward?
Or they can visit my own website. It's like andreaslandek.com. And there you find a link to Vimeo, or you can directly go to Vimeo where you can rent the film. And yeah,
Very
these are the
good.
two possibilities to do it.
We'll have it linked below so everyone can check it out. So,
Yes,
Andreas,
thank you.
thank you so much. And I really appreciate you making the time.
Yes, thank you, Jackson, for the invitation.